Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so tonight the Los Angeles Lakers have the Minnesota Timberwolves on tab in Minnesota. It's going to be a road game, and what I thought the game would be is now going to be a complete adjustment because Anthony Edwards has entered health and safety protocol. He's the latest one to have to go through that, so that's going to make it so that they're going to be down a massive, massive piece of what it is that they do. Which means that we're going to defend a little differently than what we thought. Our game plan essentially may change defensively in terms of what we thought we would have to cover to where we're headed now. So that's a very good thing for our team, obviously. Anthony Edwards is a guy who just scored 10 3-pointers in one game. As I told everyone when he was drafted, and something that I've noticed in the highlights, is he's the type of guy who has a very special gift. When he gets hot, he gets hotter. It's one of those simple things where when he sees 2 or 3 fall, he can hit 8, 9, and 10. And that's exactly what I predicted. And now we're starting to see that. His level of confidence and his belief in his game, his athleticism, and his leg strength allows him to repeatedly punish defenses. And he has handles out of this world and all of that. So he's going to be sorely, sorely missed for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but not for us. What this does is allow us to kind of zero in more so on Karl-Anthony Towns and how we're going to defend him. And D'Angelo Russell, I'm not sure if he's out there or not tonight, but I'd imagine if he is, he's going to be taking a lot more shots. As I've mentioned, Jared Vanderbilt, he's a guy who's starting to rebound the ball well and make impact plays on the defensive side of the ball. And Naz Reid is another guy that I've pointed out who can give them a double-double, rebounder, score on the inside, somebody who can also stretch the floor as well. So when you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, the most important thing the Lakers need to understand is the same issue we had against the Memphis Grizzlies, some of the same issue we had against some of these other teams is when we decide to go small, we can get out rebounded something terrible. This is a team that's playing a lot of spirited basketball just about every single night. They are playing with the intent of beating you, and they're competitive this year. This is not yesterday's Timberwolves. And I think this is a next man up type of situation for them. So, with Anthony Edwards going out, they're going to have to play a little more spirited basketball in terms of ball movement and things of that nature to try to help themselves make up for the shots and the athleticism that he would otherwise provide. We can take advantage of that by making sure that we play better defense than we did in that last game and continue to build on what it is that we've been doing, which is getting better and better defensively, making better reads, and ultimately finding ourselves in positions to take advantage on the boards, which is something that we hadn't been doing very well to start the season. So we did see some mismatches and things of that nature down the stretch of the previous game. We discussed those. Hopefully the Lakers can take from what they saw in that film and kind of make better decisions throughout the process of this game. So we'll see. The Lakers will be building on a really, really, really wonderful type of atmosphere that they had at the end of that game, where they were able to celebrate Austin Reeves and his championship. It seemed like it, right? Celebrate his game-winning shot that he was able to provide in heroic fashion. And that was something the team kind of rally around and put themselves in a position to feel good about where they're headed going forward. Great way to start a road trip. So, yeah, this is going to be a big game tonight. You're going into a Minnesota Timberwolves building that should be, packed. Obviously, the Lakers are there. I would expect us to have some fans in the house. And, I'm looking for LeBron James to really carry the momentum that he's been on. My opinion is that he's going to start entering his name in the MVP conversation. He's going to start playing the type of ball that makes people consider him for that. We've had issues trying to find consistency from player to player. And the one thing that I know is that LeBron James is the ultimate consistent player when he puts his mind to scoring the basketball and puts his mind to rebounding the basketball. He can be someone that gets a triple-double every single night. So you know what you're going to get from him in that regard. He's in a good rhythm right now. And that's pretty much what I'm hoping to see him continue that process and that momentum. Excuse me. Now, Anthony Davis, we've talked about this. Last night I jumped out the window and said if he doesn't start playing better, I'm going to start calling him out to get traded. I'm standing on that. I'm not walking away from that thought. It's the same way I feel today. I am not of the mindset that we should be mediocre with that player on this team. I don't care how bad we look. He's supposed to be able to affect more of the court and more things than he's been able to thus far. And I know a lot of it has to do with physical, how he feels physically. He might not be moving as fast, and that's okay. But we're going to need him to take better shots. We're going to need him to put forth more of an intent on boxing out and things of that nature, and get better at some of those things that otherwise have kind of plagued us. You may not be able to move faster. Your body may not be able to react as quickly as you need it to. So you're going to have to make up for it by doing the right things the right way. And that has to do with spacing. That has to do with making up for a lack of speed by making sure that you leave room for different things. And I understand that a lot of that has to do with feel, and a lot of that has to do with trust. So I would ask Anthony Davis to trust his teammates and not try to overcompensate in the paint when you're going up against a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns and a guy like Nars Reid, who's going to be trying to stretch the floor with three-point shots. That's going to likely be his assignment tonight, play the perimeter. And understand that Karl-Anthony Towns is playing great right now. He's going to have more shots, obviously, without Anthony Edwards. And I'd expect that he's going to try to flex on the Lakers quite a bit tonight. He knows he's going up against an Anthony Davis who's been playing not so great ball for his standards. This is a matchup that he's going to try to take advantage of, and he's going to make a statement for himself as the best center in this league, of whom I imagine he believes himself to be. Now, I don't know that he's that guy. Now, I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying that's the type of attitude that I would expect Big Cat to have this evening. So don't be surprised for him to have a massive night, and I would love for Anthony Davis to match his intensity this evening. So I don't expect it, but I'm open for being wrong in that regard. And it's Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook's been playing great lately. Obviously his name's been involved in a lot of trade rumors and stuff like that. I've been talking about a lot to myself, but with what he's been dealing with and with some of the mistakes that we had seen him make earlier in the season, I think he's starting to make up for a lot of it. The last play of the game was credited to him and his decision making to pass up a three-point shot and work the ball around to create a shot for Austin Reeves that got us the win. And the fact that he had airballed a three-point shot and then came down the very next play to make sure that he hit that shot. And that's not even to mention the way he was offensive rebounding and doing things in the fourth quarter that helped us win this game. You just have to give him credit for how well he's been playing. And as much as you've been killing him, and as much as you say his contract needs to be traded and all of those things, you cannot deny that he has made you look foolish. And I'm talking to myself when I say that. And anybody else has been giving him negativity for his play, because he's playing better. He's reminding us why he's a perennial all-star MVP and somebody who's ultimately still trying to win a championship in this league. And, whether his contract is where we want it to be or not, we're definitely lucky to have the Brony. And his energy, unfortunately, is going to be missed because obviously he's not going to be out there. But that's the point. It's one of those situations where when you're dealing with health and safety protocol, players going in and out of the lineup that you really, really want to see out there that are really healthy and playing well. And that's exactly what the Lakers are faced with. But we are bringing in Isaiah Thomas. And I could segue into the debut of Isaiah Thomas, which I would imagine he would get some minutes, but that's not necessarily guaranteed. But we hope to see him out there. So if there are opportunities for him to get in there, I'd expect he would do some things that will help us, including playmaking and hitting three-point shots. Now, I think playing him is going to require us to have a defender down there with him, somebody who can play the perimeter, and I don't know that we have that person roster right now besides Austin Reeves, who is not yet as effective defensively as he's going to be as he grows stronger. So in situations like this, you would hope he would be able to play on the floor with THT, who's also going to be gone, and things of that nature. So I'm wondering how the Lakers are going to hide Isaiah Thomas, because that's going to be key, because obviously defensively he's going to need some support. And being that we don't have rim protection necessarily without Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard's going to have to play well and things of that nature. But it's just, I just wonder if we have what Isaiah Thomas needs to look his best defensively. Don't know that we even have that. So that's going to be the key to his tenure and the lineups that we put on the floor. Because obviously he's going to have issues guarding people regardless. It's just part of the situation there. So that's something I'm paying attention to. Just what lineups Frank Vogel uses with Isaiah Thomas if he chooses to use him this evening. So that's one thing. Of course, Austin Reeves is coming off so much momentum. I would not be surprised if he has another big game. He's just playing great ball. His shots falling, his legs are underneath him. Like as I said, he's coming back from injury, so he has to work his strength up. but he's getting there. You know, you can clearly see it's coming around. And so with him playing as well as he did, I would not be surprised if he goes off for another big game, maybe even gets a career high tonight. You know, I think the opportunity may be there, although Malik Monk is returning, which is wonderful news for the Los Angeles Lakers. Malik Monk will eat some of those minutes, but all in all, with the way that dude just played, I would have started him, to be honest with you. So I won't be surprised to see him get some good minutes tonight. With Malik coming back, I expect Malik to have high usage this evening with Russell Westbrook out. Yeah, it's going to be a night for Malik to really shine. I really believe that as well. So we're going to be stretching the floor. You know, the ball is going to be in the shooter's hands. I'd imagine LeBron James is going to be the guy facilitating the basketball to those shooters. And we'll see how it plays out. You know, we're going to miss Brody's attacking and his penetration and his relentlessness. So I'm wondering where that energy is going to come from. LeBron James is going to have to provide that for us, or otherwise it won't be there. Because we know Anthony Davis has not proven to have any of that this season, cut and dry. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, is how we're going to keep that energy up against a spirited and energetic Minnesota Timberwolves team that does play defense. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, very interesting. As I think about this matchup, I just wonder how they're going to adjust to not having Anthony Edwards out there. That's what I'm wondering. I think that adjustment may be what we need to help us win this game, especially since we're missing some guys too, some very important guys. But the fact of the matter is, with Russell Westbrook not out there, that means the ball is in the best player's hands at all times. So that's not good for the Timberwolves at all. LeBron James will be the primary ball handler tonight, and that means he's going to be terrorizing them. One way or another, that's going to happen. So they should expect that. Anyway, so yeah, man, I like the matchup. I like the idea of him having the ball in his hands. And because of it, I think the Lakers are still going to have a good chance at attacking this team. But like I said, this is Carl's night. Carl and Anthony Davis, you know, that matchup is very important. Carl's obviously in better shape right now. So that's really all there's to say about that. Yeah, that's that, man. The Los Angeles Lakers, 14's a magic number. Keep your turnovers down. We've been shooting the ball very well in terms of our percentage and making sure that we keep them, you know, at a decent amount of three-point shots. I'd like us to continue that. We are at our best when we attack into the paint rather than fall in love with that three-point shot. But unfortunately, one of our best drivers, of course, is gone, and Brody. So, yeah, it's an adjustment for both teams, but we'll figure it out. And I think the game could ultimately be a good one because of the adjustment of both teams needing to make up for lost players. So that's what I got to say, man. This COVID protocol stuff is annoying. That's what it is. My name is BDO44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.